The legend of Atlantis is an enduring one. Was it ever a real city? Well, no. Sadly, it's not. Plato dreamed it up over 2,300 years ago, claiming this utopian civilization existed 9,000 years before his time. But its people, selfish, greedy, and corrupt, angered the gods, who punished them by sinking their great city beneath the waves. Which sea swallowed it? No one knows 100% surely. In reality, Atlantis is pure myth, but history holds plenty of real sunken cities. Not all were doomed by divine wrath, but through disaster, war, and time itself, they now rest at the bottom of the ocean. Here are 15 lost cities buried underwater that nobody wants you to find. Number 15. The sunken city of Baiae, Italy. Baiae wasn't just another Roman city. It was Rome's elite playground, the Las Vegas of the ancient world. A place where emperors, senators, and the ultra-rich came to drink, scheme, and indulge in every luxury imaginable. Think private villas, lavish feasts, and probably a few scandals that never made it into history books. Julius Caesar, Nero, and Augustus all had vacation homes here. There's even speculation that Cleopatra stayed in Baiae after Caesar's assassination in 44 BC, because if there's one thing Rome's elite knew, it was how to cope with a crisis in style. But like any city built on excess, Baiae didn't last. Saracens raided it in the 8th century, and by the 1500s, it was abandoned. Then, thanks to volcanic activity, the land beneath it sank, swallowing the ruins into the sea. Today, Baiae is an underwater time capsule, where divers can still explore Roman statues, mosaics, and the ruins of a city that partied itself into history. Number 14. The Yonaguni Ruins, Japan. Off the coast of Yonaguni Island in Japan, divers searching for hammerhead sharks in 1986 found something way stranger. A massive submerged structure with staircases, terraces, and what looks suspiciously like a man-made hallway. This kicked off a heated debate. Is it an ancient city, or just an oddly shaped rock formation? Some experts believe it was built by the Jomon civilization over 10,000 years ago, making it one of the oldest man-made structures ever discovered. Others insist it's just nature showing off. But here's where it gets ultra weird. The site has perfectly carved pillars, staircases, and a massive structure shaped like a pyramid. If this is natural, then Mother Nature is a better architect than we ever gave her credit for. Until someone proves otherwise, the Yonaguni ruins remain one of the ocean's greatest mysteries. An ancient lost city? Or just a geological fluke? The answers are still buried underwater. Number 13. Port Royal, the sunken pirate city of Jamaica. Port Royal wasn't just a pirate hideout, it was the most sinful city on earth. A lawless haven of booze, brothels, and stolen treasure, it was where cutthroats and privateers spent their loot on things no history book would dare detail. Founded in 1518, Port Royal quickly became the go-to spot for English and Dutch privateers looking to rob Spanish ships. And for them, it was a real heaven on earth. When their government-backed commissions ended, they went full pirate mode, and the city turned into the headquarters of the Caribbean underworld. But then, the sea had enough. In 1692, an earthquake and tsunami wiped out half the city, dragging buildings, ships, and people into the depths. Survivors called it divine punishment. More likely, building a city on unstable sand was a terrible idea. Now Port Royal is a submerged ghost town, perfectly preserved in time. Divers have found sunken streets, buildings, and even plates of food left untouched for centuries. It's a pirate city frozen in time, still waiting to give up its secrets. Number 12. The lost underwater Mayan city of Samabaj, Guatemala. Samabaj is one of the greatest Mayan mysteries hidden beneath the waves. Sitting 50 feet, 16 meters below Lake Atitlan, this sunken city is believed to be Guatemala's first true city, dating back over 2,000 years. But unlike most lost civilizations, this one didn't just fade away, it drowned. Discovered in 1996, researchers believe Samobaj was once an island, home to an important religious and cultural center. Then, something catastrophic happened. Either a volcanic eruption or a massive landslide caused the water to rise, swallowing the city whole around 300 AD. During early dives, archaeologists found pottery, ceremonial structures, and evidence of a thriving Mayan community, a civilization that suddenly found itself beneath the lake instead of beside it. Dubbed the Mayan Atlantis, Samobaj remains eerily intact, frozen in time beneath the water. And with much of it still unexplored, who knows what other secrets this lost city might be hiding. Number 11. Xucheng, the Lion City of Qiandao Lake, China. Imagine walking through an ancient city where time has stood still, only you have to dive 100 feet underwater to do it. That's Xucheng, also known as China's Lion City, an 1,800-year-old metropolis sitting at the bottom of Qiandao Lake. Built during the Eastern Han Dynasty, 25 to 200 CE, Xucheng was a bustling political and economic hub in the Zhejiang province. But in 1959, China needed a hydroelectric plant, so they flooded the entire valley, completely submerging the city in the process. For decades, Xucheng was forgotten, until divers rediscovered it in 2001. To their shock, the city was remarkably well preserved. The lack of sun, wind, and rain has protected its intricate stone carvings, grand archways, and ancient temples. Today, nearly 300 perfectly intact arches still stand beneath the lake, making Xucheng one of the most incredible underwater ruins on Earth, a forgotten empire, lost but never destroyed. Number 10. Dwarka. Some lost cities are forgotten, others are worshipped. According to ancient Sanskrit texts, Dwarka wasn't just any city, it was built by Lord Krishna himself. Described as a majestic golden metropolis with 70,000 palaces, it was said to be so divine that, after Krishna's death, the sea claimed it back, submerging it beneath the waves. For centuries, Dwarka was considered a myth, until marine archaeologists started finding actual ruins off the coast of Gujarat. Since 1983, divers have uncovered stone structures, pottery, and even what might be an ancient harbor, some dating back over 9,000 years. That's older than the pyramids. Whether this was the legendary Dwarka of Krishna or just a powerful lost kingdom, one thing's clear: history wasn't ready for this discovery. If confirmed, it could rewrite everything we know about early civilizations. Number 9. The submerged temples of Mahabalipuram, India. For centuries, locals in Mahabalipuram told a legend that the famous shore temple was once part of a much larger complex of 7 temples, 6 of which had been swallowed by the sea. It was a great story. But was it true? Then, in 2004, nature gave up the secret. Right before the Indian Ocean tsunami struck, the water retreated over 500 meters, revealing long rows of stone structures beneath the waves. Witnesses saw intricate carvings, statues, and what looked like temple foundations before the ocean came crashing back. But the damage was already done. The tsunami had swept away centuries of silt, uncovering an ancient submerged temple complex. Following this, the Archaeological Survey of India and the Indian Navy conducted underwater surveys, discovering walls, platforms, and large structures, proving that the 7 pagodas legend wasn't just a myth, it was history waiting to be rediscovered. Number 8. The sunken city of Pavlopetri, Greece. 5,000 years old. That's how ancient Pavlopetri is, the oldest known submerged city on the planet. Located just 4 meters underwater off the coast of Greece's Peloponnesus region, Pavlopetri was a thriving Mycenaean-era settlement, bustling with life before it sank around 1000 BC. The cause? A series of earthquakes sent it slipping beneath the waves. Discovered in 1904, the site remains shockingly well preserved. You can still see streets, courtyards, and at least 15 intact buildings. Even after 5,000 years, the city's layout is still clearly visible, offering an incredible glimpse into Bronze Age life. What makes Pavlopetri truly one of a kind is that it wasn't just a small village. It was a fully organized city, complete with roads, a market, and a complex drainage system. Unlike most lost cities which are buried in sediment, Pavlopetri looks like it was left there yesterday, just waiting for history to catch up. Number 7. The sunken city of Olos, Greece. At one point, Olos wasn't underwater. It was one of Crete's busiest Minoan cities. Home to over 40,000 people, this ancient city thrived between the 5th and 2nd centuries BC, complete with a famous temple to Apollo and grand structures. But Olos had a problem. It was built on shifting land. Over time, rising sea levels and geological activity caused the city to sink, slowly vanishing beneath the waves. Today, what remains of Olos lies just below the surface, making it one of the easiest sunken cities to visit, if you don't mind getting your feet wet. Divers and snorkelers exploring the ruins have discovered mosaic floors with intricate bird and fish patterns, stone walls, and even the remains of chapels still standing on dry land. But here's the kicker. Crete itself is still shifting. The east is sinking while the west is rising, meaning in a few thousand years, Olos might be buried even deeper. A light, guys, now. Let's head over to Number 6. Atlit Yam, Haifa, Israel. Atlit Yam isn't just an underwater ruin. It's a time capsule from 9,000 years ago, hidden beneath the Mediterranean off the coast of Israel. Discovered in 1984, this Neolithic settlement spans 40,000 square meters, making it one of the earliest known sunken villages in human history. Unlike the structured cities of later civilizations, Atlit Yam was a vast, unorganized village, but its residents lived in stone houses with paved floors, courtyards, wells, and storage facilities, pretty advanced for 7000 BC. But the real mystery? A semicircle of 7 massive stone megaliths, positioned around a freshwater spring, possibly used for ancient water rituals or religious ceremonies. So, what wiped it out? A tsunami, most likely triggered by a volcanic eruption in the Mediterranean, hit the region suddenly, forcing its people to abandon their homes forever. Number 5. Herakleion, the lost Egyptian city. Once one of the most powerful cities in Egypt, Herakleion, also called Thonis Herakleion, was the gateway to Egypt, controlling all trade from the Mediterranean. Before Alexandria was founded in 331 BC, this thriving metropolis was Egypt's main port, a hub of commerce, culture, and religion. It was home to the great Temple of Amun, a site so sacred it played a crucial role in Egyptian dynastic rites and the coronation of pharaohs. But then, at some point in the 8th century AD, Herakleion vanished beneath the waves, lost for over 1,000 years, until divers rediscovered it in 2000. The city's remains, now resting under 12 feet of water, include massive statues, temples, and shipwrecks filled with gold and treasures. But how did such a powerful city sink? Experts suspect a combination of rising sea levels and sudden land collapse, swallowing Herakleion whole and leaving behind one of the greatest underwater archaeological sites ever found. Number 4. The ancient underwater city in Fuxian Lake, China. In 1992, a diver in China's Fuxian Lake discovered something impossible, a massive submerged city with pyramid-like structures lying deep beneath the water's surface. Since then, archaeologists have debated, what civilization built this? And why did it disappear? One theory suggests this lost city was Yuyuan, an ancient settlement mysteriously wiped off the map centuries ago. Others believe it was part of the Dian Kingdom, an advanced civilization that thrived over 2,000 years ago. But here's the kicker. Some digital reconstructions of the ruins suggest the scale of this city might rival the great Mayan civilizations, which is insane considering almost no one outside China has heard of it. In 2001, a team of researchers discovered walls, stone roads, and intricate carvings, further proving this wasn't just some small village. It was a grand metropolis now hidden in the depths. But why did it sink? Nobody knows yet. Number 3. Villa Epecuén, the ghost town of Argentina. Imagine an entire tourist town drowning slowly, year by year, until it's nothing but a ghostly underwater ruin. That's Villa Epecuén, a once thriving resort town in Argentina that now looks like something out of a post-apocalyptic movie. Built in the 1920s, Villa Epecuén was a booming lakeside destination, famous for its saltwater lake, which was said to have healing properties. By the 1970s, more than 5,000 people lived there, and thousands more visited each year. But then, the water started rising. Due to unusually heavy rains, the nearby Lago Epecuén overflowed, slowly consuming the town. In 1985, the lake finally broke through a dam, and the entire town was submerged under 33 feet of water. It stayed that way for over 2 decades, until the waters receded in 2009, revealing a landscape of crumbling buildings, rusted-out cars, and skeletal trees. Number 2. Phanagoria. Once the largest city of ancient Greece and the capital of the Bosporan Kingdom, Phanagoria was established around 540 BC on the Taman Peninsula, along the shores of the Black Sea, an area now part of modern-day Russia. Today, 1/3 of this ancient city lies submerged beneath the Black Sea, while the remaining 2/3 rest on land, creating a vast archaeological site that spans both land and water. With ongoing excavations, Phanagoria continues to unveil remarkable discoveries, offering new insights into its storied past. Number 1. The submerged castle in Lake Van, Turkey. Castles are supposed to be on land. This one decided to take a dive. At the bottom of Lake Van in Turkey, hidden beneath alkaline waters, sits a 3,000-year-old fortress from the lost Urartu civilization. Spanning nearly a kilometer with stone walls still standing up to 4 meters high, this castle was once part of a thriving Iron Age kingdom. So how did it end up underwater? Slowly. Rising lake levels over centuries swallowed parts of the city, forcing its people to abandon it. Above the water, ancient ruins still dot the shores, proving that Lake Van wasn't always this massive. The real mystery? The castle is shockingly well preserved, as if waiting for history to notice it again. Unlike most sunken cities, it wasn't destroyed by a disaster. It was simply left behind, buried beneath the waves by time itself. If you have enjoyed this video, please like it, share it, and subscribe for more content like this. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you soon in the next one.